Check it out. Trying to sell a car, but think it's gonna be tough for them to get it? Well, let's talk to Mr. Ken Hill from 700 Credit.
Hey everybody, this is Sean B. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Group. And I am extremely excited. I got my man Ken Hill from 700 Credit. Ken, tell everybody who you are with 700 Credit, because when you told me the title, I was like, oh, we got one of the big dogs in the building. So what is your role at the organization?
Sure. I've been the managing director of 700 Credit for about 18 years. I think most dealerships are familiar with us or have heard from us. Our core product and business is credit reports and serving dealerships, in the finance office when they do a hard pull credit report to determine and ensure they have the right lenders lined up to submit determine who the right lender is to submit the consumer to.
So you've been with 700 Credit for 18 years. Before that, give us your background. Do you have a finance background? Do you have a car background, retail side?
I've been in credit my whole career. When I got out of college, my first job was I had a FICO scorecard manual in my lap, and I had to program a FICO scorecard model. And that's when they used to make that available. Now they're pretty much a black box. But that was my first job, and I've been in credit ever since. Prior to 700 Credit, I was with a company called Microbuilt that dealt with credit, but across all industries. And then with my venture into 700 Credit, it's been automotive ever since.
Let me share you this. A lot of people know me as the internet BDC guy, but a lot of people don't know that I did a lot of special finance. Matter of fact, back in 1999, 2000, I believe I was the first person in the country that created a bad credit website at the dealership level. I worked at All American Chevy in Middletown, New Jersey, and we built badcreditsowhat.com with John DeSantis. That was insane. And then I remember, man, I went from bad credit, so what, but that was his, but I built it for him. Then I was like, oh my God, this has got legs. So I created 20 years ago, auto credit approved, auto credit approve, autocreditapproval.com. Those are all my companies. And auto credit approve is the company. Those are other subsidiaries of the company. Yeah. And what we were doing was we were definitely the first people on Auto Trader and cars.com way back in the day, like 20 years ago, to use those banner ads. Instead of pushing them to inventory, we were doing special finance ads in there. My logic was, okay, if somebody's looking at an F-150 and there's a bunch of 3-year-old F-150s that are in there, why would they choose to go to our store if they're already looking at an F-150? So to have a banner there didn't make sense. But I said, wait a minute, if somebody's looking at a vehicle, they might need financing. And man, Ken, we also at one point had 100,000 Dynamats a month. So 1.2 million Dynamats a month with auto credit approved, driving traffic to the website. So I have a big background with special finance lead generation, special finance call center, special finance BDCs, working with Interactive Financial, working with Auto Credit Express. And one of the biggest challenges is obviously getting somebody approved and getting them into the dealership and all that stuff.
Yes.
So I want to talk about like bad credit to start with, okay? Because I'm sure there's good credit, but let's just talk about bad credit, no credit. It blows my mind that some dealerships don't see the value of special finance. They throw their nose up to it like it's beneath them. Like the only people that have bad credit are crackheads that don't pay their bills. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that there's a lot of rich people or even like wealthy people or people that are citizens, so to speak, that have bad credit. If you think about it, divorce, over 50% of Americans are divorced or get divorced. You have, people that get sick. We just came from a global pandemic, and there's so much medical bills and things like that. And then what about the whole economy with the stock market and real estate and all this other stuff? And then you got people that got bad habits, the gambling, or whatever it is. But guess what? They got a good job. They got good income. And
Yeah.
so they have the money to put down. So when I worked at Pine Belt, it was a Nissan Kia Cadillac dealership. The Cadillac dealership is where we ran the special finance department out of. So my question to you is this. Let's start with the 10,000 foot view. Special finance. Do you agree that it shouldn't just be perceived for people that are crackheads that don't pay their bills and like the
Yeah.
street? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, no. Well, and you have the other end of the spectrum where you have dealerships that focus on it and focus on putting programs together, how to spot it, how to attract it, and how to service it. I bought a vehicle at Pine Belt, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
yeah.
one? Which location? Which location?
Oh, I can't remember, but
Is
I'm
either
in Jersey.
Lakewood or it was okay. It was either
I think it was
Lakewood.
Lakewood. Yeah,
Lakewood. Yeah, that's the original Pine Belt. No doubt. It's
yeah,
called Pine Belt
yeah,
Enterprises.
yeah. So, and myself, right? During the housing crisis, my wife and I both lost our jobs, had two homes, remodeling one, and I had to declare bankruptcy. So I'm very familiar with the struggles of poor credit, and we actually even have a program now that monitors for consumers or previous customers that declared bankruptcy, because a lot of times it's an opportunity for dealerships when a consumer files bankruptcy, because you got one more chance to get a car before it's discharged, and you have a long haul back to get your credit back into an acceptable rate. So yeah, I'm very close to it. Because of my personal experience, and I see a lot of dealerships that are very successful focusing on it because they know there's that indecision out there from consumers. Oh my gosh, my credit's a mess. My score's low. I need a car. I'm really worried. How much am I going to get approved? How much my payment's going to be? What's my interest rate? Right. So it's a shopper that's very focused, and someone, if you can relay good news to, they're going to be a loyal customer.
Listen, I'm going to share, like, I'm not only the president, I'm also, a former special finance person as well. I don't know if you know my background, but I lost years of my life, man. When I was a kid, I got in a lot of trouble. And when I got in trouble, I was in college. So my student loans defaulted. I didn't pay anything for the years that I was away.
Yeah.
And so when I came home, I started not from the bottom, but I joke around. I say I was buried in the dirt because I was over $55,000 in debt. I climbed out of that, and then I got divorced. This is a true story. I was working at Pine Belt. I had a Lexus, the vehicle, and I'll never forget my ex-wife. I was paying her like child support and stuff like that, but off the books. So just doing the right thing, giving her the money to pay the insurance. I got into an accident in my Lexus. They totaled the Lexus, and I'm thinking it's all good. They're like, your insurance lapsed. So my ex never paid the insurance after we split up. She just kept the money. And so I have a voluntary surrender back then. Now I'm like an 820 right now. You know what I mean? For the record, people, Sean Brown's got an 820. That was like years ago. But I've been there before. I've had to, use AmeriCredit as a bank. I had the high interest rates. I had the bank fees. I understand. And I think I really respect that. I didn't know that about you, Ken, because, empathy is a powerful thing, and if people haven't gone through that experience of frustration, fear, embarrassment, anger, disappointment, need. There's a myriad of emotions that are there. You could help somebody, but I just think that people like us that have lived through that ordeal have a whole different paradigm, and I think that we tend, if we're good people and we've had that experience, really know how to engage these type of people and help them. And profit is not a dirty word. You know what I mean? Again, this is not FEMA or the Red Cross. There's nothing wrong with it being able to create a win-win. Solve a problem for somebody that's in desperate need, but also create a win-win for our organization and the business. So I love this. So my question is this. Do you agree with this? I believe one of the biggest objections that I hear with special finance in the dealership. Because as you know, I'm a national training company, almost 4,000 rooftops, 6 countries, 20 plus years. Dealer Synergy has been in business. We have a lot of experience. And when we go to stores and we ask, okay, so what's your biggest challenge? If you get interactive financial or carloan.com leads, or you get auto credit express leads or cap one leads, or you've got bad credit customers, what's one of your biggest problems? We can't get them in. So let's talk about that. They say they can't get them in. I'm like, why? Well, the distance. Let's put that to the side because the fear, they don't want to come in because they don't want to waste their time. They
Yep.
don't want to feel embarrassed. I've had people come and tell me that, hey, Sean, thank you so much for helping me. I went to a store and in front of my kids, they disrespected me and kicked me out of the store, and just people are foul. So again, when you have all these different things because of fear, embarrassment, frustration, exasperation, or distance, those are big objections. My question to you is this. Do you agree with that? Do you believe that that is legitimately a big objection that salespeople and BDCs hear all the time?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's sort of the Cap One's get pre-approved program. They've made the words get pre-approved or get pre-qualified. They've made those words famous with their commercials. And I think, and the reason of their growth is because it does attract that mid-tier financing. And, there's little risk to the consumer because that incorporates a soft credit pull. So it doesn't impact the consumer's credit, their score, and it gives the consumer a safe environment from their home to see if they would qualify for a loan before they walk in the store. Because
You stole my thunder a little bit, but yes, so 100%. So,
sorry.
no, it's okay. No, it's okay. We could go ready, fire the name. It's okay. It's okay. Yes. So no, but so again, let's digress just for a second. So again, there's that objection. So a natural response to me as a special finance, specialist that I am and is I would tell the prospect, listen, fair enough. How about this? How about we do a credit check right here and see if you could be pre-approved or pre-qualified, depending what verbiage you have to say in your state, et cetera. But the idea is any type of objection of fear, stress, this, that, the other thing, distance, especially distance, having somebody drive an hour plus away, or anyway, hell, 30 minutes to an hour away, and they
Yeah.
don't know if they're even going to get approved it's a crapshoot. So I get it. So one of the things that we could say is, hey, I understand. I could appreciate that. How about this? Let's run your credit, see exactly where you're at, and I could turn around and see how I could help you. We have a nationwide network of banks and lending institutions that specialize in each and every different type of credit situation. I assure you that this is what we do. This is what we were built to do. So now, with that being said, can we do that right now? And if they say, nah, I don't want to run, I don't want you to run my credit. Why not? I'm trying to help
Yep.
you. Because it's gonna. I heard somebody say that a hard inquiry is going to take points on here off my credit score. It's going to make it worse. It's going to make a bad situation worse. So let's start with there. Is that true? Can you explain what a hard credit pull is, how it works, and how does it affect the person compared to a soft credit pull, and how it doesn't affect negatively the customer? Explain the difference between hard and soft pulls.
Okay. So hard pulls are traditional hard pulls, and they do impact your credit. If you have, not so much if you just did one or two, but when you're car shopping, and especially if you have your credit challenged, the fear is that you're going to have to bounce around a lot, and you're going to have to put a lot of hard inquiries on your file, and that a lot of inquiries in a short period of time does impact your score. That's the old argument of the shotgun approach, which I think is something that's going to be going away, where you just submit it to 10 lenders at once. The dealer has an inquiry, and then there's 10 lenders that have a hard inquiry on it. And so now you're definitely going to impact. But hard pulls are required because dealers are considered arrangers of credit. And they have to have that hard inquiry on the file if they're arranging a credit transaction. Now, that doesn't mean it has to happen at the top of the funnel. It can happen at the back. But soft pulls, and why there has been such a strong emergence of soft pulls dealers using just simple soft pull tools or inside digital retailing tools, is that a soft pull is a soft inquiry, does not impact credit. The only people that can see a soft inquiry is the consumer himself, right? If an example of a soft pull would be a pre-approved credit card offer you get in the mail. If you were to look, let's just say it was, Cap One credit card. If you were to go to Credit Karma and look up your credit file, you would see a soft inquiry from Cap One at the bottom of your credit report. In fact, you looking at your credit file and Credit Karma places a soft inquiry on your credit file. That's part of the FCRA. Anytime anyone looks at a credit file, an inquiry needs to be placed on a consumer's file. But with a soft pull, right, I can alleviate that person sitting at home's fear that I'm going to be impacting their credit. No. Here, I'm going to send you a link to your phone, complete this, complete the application, or not allowed to call it an application, the pre-qualification form, and I can get access to your credit file. We can see where your score is, and we can see how I might be able to get you into some financing. So it alleviates that concern.
Millionaire Car Salesman podcast is on your radio.
In the heart of the lights, under the bright neon lights, then Q stands ready, making everything right. With data in hand, they're paving the way for dealers to shine come night or day. Thank you in the automotive game, changing the rules, never the same. With insights so sharp and solutions so true, they're the partner you need through and through. From the price on the tag to the cars in demand, they guide with precision, with the upper hand in a world that's always shifting. They keep you alive, ensuring success with every car you find. Thank you and through. So here's to thank you, the leader, the guides. Let us in forgive.
That makes all the sense in the world. Now, I'm going to flip this. Let's just say that we're going to just jump ahead here. Let's just say that I had 700 credit in my dealership and you were the trainer. I know that you're the big shot at the company, but let's just pretend that you're a trainer, right?
Well, I've had to train the trainers at some point.
Good. So then here, I'm like, we're going to role play right now. Okay. So, Ken, I got to tell you, I'm so glad about this soft credit pull thing. I don't really understand it. Can you load my lips? Can we role play right now live to our audience? And you are going to be the salesperson or the BDC rep that just, you reached out to me. You have an internet purchase request or you have a special finance lead. My name is Sean Bradley, and I have bad credit. You reached out to me, and at this point, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to start talking. I want you to be in the role play mode. Okay, Ken?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Hey, Ken, listen, I appreciate that. I don't want to come in. The reason why I don't want to come in is I've been through this before, man. I mean, I've had bad credit for a while, and every time there's this commercial or this ad that proclaims they could do this, they could do that, I get to the dealership and they're like, we can't help you. You can't even, you don't. They embarrass me. They've actually embarrassed me, kids. So I don't want to take a 35-minute drive for you to waste my time. And I don't want to run a credit because I don't want to have a hard inquiry, I've been told on there, which is going to take points, right, away from my credit score and make my situation worse.
Yeah. Well, I would tell you that's a wise choice. Don't let your credit be pulled until you've settled on a car, you've settled on a payment, and you're, getting ready to come in to get the car or getting ready to come into the finance office. But we have a wide spectrum of lenders at our dealership, and I'm sure we're going to be able to find you financing. But I won't be able to tell you what type of financing until I do get some insight into your FICO score. We have a soft pull tool that I can send you a link you can complete. And basically, we'll do a soft inquiry on your credit file. It doesn't impact your score. Only you can see those. Dealers, lenders can't see those soft inquiries. But on the positive side, it's going to give me insight to your FICO score, your exact FICO score. And I'm going to be able to see what type of lending programs that we have available for you. And I'll be able to give you accurate rates and accurate payments. So when you come into the store, there's no surprises.
Wait a minute,
There's
Ken,
no complaints.
I'm confused because I never heard of a soft credit pull before. So first, there's something called a soft credit pull where you could actually run my credit and it doesn't negatively affect me in any way, shape, or form.
That's correct. That's why they're allowed, because it's a benefit to you. It allows us to arrange and look at different financing options without pulling your credit file. If you ever gotten a pre-approved credit card in the mail?
I got a ton of them.
Yes.
And then I call and then they can't get me approved. So
Yes.
Ken, I'm confused. Then why would all these other dealers choose to use a hard credit pull instead of the soft credit pull if this doesn't hurt me and this is able to help me? I don't understand why all the other dealers wasted my time and hit a hard credit pull on me. So like this sounds a little bit too good to be true. So can you explain to me why?
Yeah, I would say one, it's probably lack of education. They don't want to, dealers typically, maybe they're set in their ways and their sales processes and their workflows, and they don't want to change them. Also, sometimes there's pushback because of cost, right? It's an added cost to the dealership, and dealerships are fighting thin margins.
Now, can you put that in writing before I do that? Again, not that I don't trust you, Ken. It's just that I've had a lot of bad experiences with dealers, promise me the world and then just like leaving me high and dry. So you can absolutely stand by what you're saying, that if I give you permission to do what you said, a soft credit pull, that it will not negatively affect me in any way. Can you put that in writing?
Yeah. In fact, the form I'm going to send you has the consumer consent language, and in that consumer consent language, tells you that this is not going to impact your credit. This is a soft inquiry. And we're bound by that.
Okay, stop narrative and role play. That was phenomenal. So for our audience, just think about that for a second. That conversation happens a lot, not exactly like that, but as far as, hey, we need to run your credit. And then there's, well, no, I don't want to do that. Well, why? If you have bad credit and you need help, for me to help you, I need to, because it's going to do this, it's going to do that. What you said is flawless. And what I really, really liked is, I used it as a question, right? I said, well, why do dealers, don't? And then you gave a great answer, but let's reconstruct that proactively. If I had a soft credit pull technology, I would be proactive to say, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm really excited to tell you that we have certain technologies that a lot of dealers don't. And that's for two reasons. One is because we specialize in credit. This is what we do. This is our main focus, our mission, vision, etc. And then on top of that, in addition to being like our main thing, we invest in our clients. We invest in our business. This technology is not cheap and it's not free. Unfortunately, a lot of other dealerships, unfortunately, don't invest because it's easier just to charge people and do that. We don't do it easier. We don't do the easy way. We do the right way for you. And again, I just freestyled that response right there.
No. That was great. And that's why I'm not in sales. And obviously you are, and very successful at it. So, but yes, that was great.
You could also lead with a question like, what if there was a way that you and I could take a look at your credit in an unharmful way and predetermine which of our banks would be most likely to work with you? Would you be open to exploring that option?
So I like this. You did say something, though, that caught me off guard. And again, I don't do puff pieces here. I'm a car guy, 25 years in, 20 years at Dealer Synergy. And you said something that I just want to get clarity. And again, whether I agree with it or not, let's talk about it. You had said that, hey, I want you to have a car first, and then we can look at the financing. Can you repeat what you said before? Do you remember in the role play?
Yeah, I think it was around my comment. I think you're making the right decision. Don't let anybody pull your credit report until you've landed on a car and a payment that is satisfactory to you. Then you've already had them look at your credit with a South Pole perspective. So there's no surprises when you come in.
Okay, good. That's the catch. Because I got to tell you, I was really confused about that because as a special finance manager, my concern is this, and I consult with a lot of stores. I believe that people do special finance the wrong way. And what they do is even people that buy leads like carloan.com and Auto Credit Express, which are exclusively bad credit, no credit leads. So let's say I have a department at ABC Motors and I have 400 bad credit leads and I've got three special finance call center reps or BDC reps that are in there. And what they're doing is they're trying to treat this like it's a regular car sale. Well, they'll call the customer, try to bring them in, and then they're going to look at a vehicle that they want or identify what type of vehicle they want, go show them some cars, and then work the deal. I don't agree with that in any way, shape, or form because special finance is not about the car. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to push back. It's about the approval. Even if the prospect thinks it's about the car, the reality is it's 1,000%, in my opinion, about the approval first. So we try to reverse engineer it. I want to get the app, okay, whether it's a soft credit pull, preferably. I want to be able to get the information, identify which of my lender partners would be the absolute best fit for this particular prospect situation. And what I mean situation, not just their credit situation, but what down money do they have? Do they have a co, et cetera? And then also be able to identify which particular vehicles do I have in stock that I can max gross profit and product in. And then when I identify the 3 to 5 vehicles in inventory as the desk or as the special finance manager, I'm going to go to my salesperson. Let's say you're Ken. I'm like, hey, Ken, got great news for you. We could definitely get Mr. Jones over there approved. We show him these 5 cars and ask him which one of these 5 cars he wants to drive home with. But Sean, he wants to turn around and drive that one all the way on the other side of the lot. And I'm like, yeah. I'm 5'5". I would like to be 6'2", but this is what Jesus gave me. This is what I got. This is what I'm working with. So I understand that he wants to drive the vehicle on that side of the lot. However, we have a conditional approval on one of these vehicles here. So my thing is this, to me, that's the healthiest way to work with a credit situation is to reverse engineer. Dr. Covey says from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, seek first to understand and then to be understood. And ADA says the number one reason why people don't buy cars is because they're landed on the wrong car. They weren't qualified the right way. Right. So do you agree with that process to work a credit customer?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. We call it payment friction in the finance office, right? You don't want to get somebody land on a car. They come into the finance office, you do a hard pull, and there's like you mentioned, their sights are set on this car, and now they're in the finance office and trying to get approved, and the payment's $100 more than they thought it was going to be out in the front of the store when they were talking to the sales rep. So that's tough to recover from, right? And how do you recover from it? Do you drop the value of the cost of the car so it drops the payment for the consumer, so now you're losing gross? Or do you ask the consumer to come up with more money to put down, right? It's just difficult. But if those conversations happen up front, right, based on the soft credit pull, and I am aligning my credit bureau and FICO scorecard with the scorecard that I'm pulling with the finance office. So somebody that's a 650 there is going to be a 650 when I do the hard pull. So when I do that, now if I have the consumer's car, or score, I can talk to him about his payment options. This car is going to be X. This one's going to be Y, right? But if up front, it's easier to get them off that car than after they've gone all the way to the finance office. So I agree 100% with that. And then we talk about that often when we're trying to sell the product.
Yes. And again, dealers overcomplicate things, sometimes with not having the right infrastructure. Now, let's redirect here.
Okay.
I'm so excited to get your insight on this. I don't know if you know, but I work with Toyota Manufacturing in the Chicago region. I mean, shout out to the Chicago region. And I'm just really excited working with them because I'm learning a lot about what's important to them on the OEM level for their dealers. And one of the biggest pushes is Toyota's Smart Path, which is their version of digital retailing. So let's just talk about the concept. I have been blessed.
I have a lot of experience there.
Yes, good, good, good. So I have multiple billionaire friends, right? And we talk and I try to learn as much as I can from these people. And they say, hey, the people that make the most money, I'm talking about entrepreneurs, companies, etc. They're people that either A, solve a problem, or B, make someone's life easier. I mean, if you think about this, the autonomous cars, the drones, Amazon, Uber Eats, whatever it is, like if you could figure out a way to make something, and this is no disrespect, but if you could make something so stupid, simple, sluggish, again, you're going to make a ton of money. So to me, digital retailing is a way to simplify a process that gives people angst, stress, fear, etc. It brings transparency, it brings clarity, it brings validation. Before we talk about this, I want your definition. Explain to our audience from your perspective, what is digital retailing without the soft credit pull card, just the concept of digital retailing. Explain it to them what it is and why is it valuable to the audience.
Well, the original concept was that a consumer could sit on their couch and complete the purchase experience without leaving their couch. Right. But, the digital retailing has been, and we have a lot of experience with this because we integrate over probably 50 digital retailing products because most digital retailing products incorporate a soft pull. And we've been working with Toyota SmartPath. We have several products incorporated SmartPath for over 2 years. So we're very familiar with their tool. But digital retailing has changed, right? There's still probably less than 1% or 2% of the consumer sits on his couch and completes the purchase from his home. That number hasn't gone up pretty much. It's pretty flat. But what they've turned into, one, is a great engagement tool to engage the consumer, to give them more accurate payment quotes, to give them options at their fingertips that can change or lower the payment, or shop for vehicles and find out what's in their price range, value their trade, right? They can complete the credit app. And then it also, and a good digital retailing tool, it allows the consumer comfortably from their home, even with the assistance of the dealer, and the dealer, wherever the consumer stops, the dealer can pick it up and continue with the consumer and allow the consumer to do more of a purchase process from their couch, right? Before they come into the dealership. And I think it helps the dealership experience because it sort of has a bad reputation to go when you buy a car to go in and sit, and it takes 3-4 hours to buy a car. But if I can do the pre-qual, the trade-in evaluation, align a lender, do the credit app, do the hard pull before I even come into the dealership, now I'm only going to be there for a half an hour to an hour. So it's a much better experience. But I think the point is, though, the digital retailing experience and that consumer payment. And we're going to start talking about that payment friction again, because in my opinion, there's some good digital retailing tools out there, but there's a lot that don't take advantage and force more of their consumers to initiate that soft pull within the tool. They allow them to self-select a score range. Now the payment is calculated based on that self-selected score range in the drop-down. How's your credit, right? Is it different ranges? But there's always going to be a difference between what a consumer's perception is of their credit score and of what the reality is of their FICO auto score, which is probably totally different. And it doesn't eliminate the payment friction from that self-selection of the credit score to when I actually do the full app and I do a hard pull. So, sorry, I think I went down a rabbit hole there.
No, that's good. Listen, I'm enjoying this. This is very intriguing. So here's the thing. I just told you that I have an OEM account. I work with Toyota officially. Yep. I work with a lot of Toyota dealers in and out of that region. And SmartPath is an amazing tool from Toyota. I want you to speak specifically to my Toyota dealer principals, GMs, the
Yeah.
region that I work with, and then like talk to them. How does 700 credit or the soft credit pull work specifically in SmartPath? So explain how it works, one, and then I got a follow-up question.
The Millionaire Car Salesman podcast is on your radio.
In the digital world, where the cars are kings, there's a name in the game, making dealers sing. Dealer process, oh, they lead the way, transforming dreams in digital display. Dealer process, shining so bright. In the digital world, they are the light. Websites and marketing all in one place, helping dealers win the online race. From SEO to the social media streams, they craft the campaigns, they fuel the dreams. Innovation at the heart of all they do, bring the future of car sales into view. Technology and strategy side by side, they navigate the digital tide. In a world that's always online, they make sure the dealerships shine. Dealer process in the lead, with every tool that dealers need. In the race for the digital space, they help you win, they set the pace.
Okay. So within SmartPath, like I mentioned before, I think there is I forget what the tagline is, don't know your score button beneath that drop down. It's not the greatest call to action in the world. Don't know your score with a question mark, but it's there. And dealers can instruct their consumers to go there. And if a consumer goes there, then it's going to lock in that drop down of that score range. So now the consumer's not guessing. Now that score range that's being used to calculate the consumer's payment is accurate, and that payment's going to be accurate. So, and then dealers, what we've noticed in our experience is that dealers, that call to action organically doesn't get a lot of traffic. But when that consumer does select that button and that app comes into the dealer and the dealer sees, oh, this one was pre-qualified and I know their score, they're going to work those deals first because they can work them more efficiently and more accurately. So that naturally, then they start instructing their consumers, hey, go hit that don't know your score button so that I can get you and get an accurate presentation of what your credit history looks like, what your score looks like. So that's the benefit. And the other thing that SmartPath does really well is they transition. The consumer experience is the same, whether they're home on their couch or they come into the store. It allows them to transition that conversation to the same, to continue picking it up right off where they're in the store, because the interface, the system is the same. And I think that's a huge benefit as well.
I love it. Okay, so follow-up questions. Talk to dealer principals and GMs. I have a huge audience. We have hit 1.2 million downloads on the podcast, almost 30,000 members in the group. So there are dealer principals and GMs out there, as you know, that don't have soft pull technology. So I'm not trying to make this a commercial directly for 700 credit, but hell, I think you guys are great. That's why you're on the show. But I honestly, just as a public service announcement, talk to dealer principals and GMs and just the thesis statement. Why should dealers have soft credit pull technology? What's in it for the dealership and what's in it for the prospect? Bottom line me.
First, don't be afraid of the cost. Don't say no just because you think it's going to be an added cost. Soft pulls should be utilized so that you can have, as we've been discussing, better conversations with consumers and provide them more accurate payment quotes at the top of the funnel, rather than waiting till the finance office. And don't be afraid of the cost, because you're going to walk away with a more satisfied customer, better sales experience, right? There's nothing worse than a sales experience than thinking you're going to pay one and coming away or not getting the car because you couldn't get that payment right. It's going to be a better, faster sales experience. And it can save you money. If you're using soft pulls the correct way, have them lined up the correct way, you might not need to pull all three bureaus in the hard pull in the finance office, right? Because you have an understanding of the consumer's credit. So that's how it can help cut down on hard pull costs, is that maybe you don't need all three. And, you know, I have a good alignment. I know this person, this lender, I know this lender takes this bureau, right? And go in and just do the hard pull on that one lender. So you're taking your guessing out of the finance office. What kind of credit person? I know what kind of credit person is walking into the finance office, and I know the lender. So,
Okay, now
did I do a good job or no?
you did a great job with that. So
Okay.
so now I'm going to be in the dealer or GM role. Okay, Mr. Credit guy there. You know, I'm liking what you're laying down. How do I implement this? So let's just say that I am, you know, I'm bought in. This makes sense to me. It's a no-brainer. So I reach out to 700 Credit. So does this get put into, let's just say I have Toyota SmartPath that's already in there. But like I put this on my website. So where do I get this? How do I use it? How does this get implemented in my organization? How do I create a culture of soft pull evangelizing? So talk to me. You had me at hello. How does this actually work? Because look, brother, I've been doing this for a long time, just like you, and we know that there's a ton of great ideas, but dealers sometimes can't help themselves, but you know, screw it up.
Resistance to change.
Yeah, they don't set it up the right way. They
Yeah.
don't train people the right way, and they don't hold people accountable. I love dealers. I'm a dealer advocate, but I'm also a realist. So I'm asking you, before I get another product that we half-ass use, I like this. Give me some tips or some best practices. How do I maximize 700 credit? Specifically, if you were a dealer principal yourself, you know, Ken, if you owned
Yeah.
full automotive and you had a soft credit pull, I want to know in your eyes, in your vision, how would you evangelize soft credit pull to maximize every crevice?
Sure. Okay. So first of all, you got to do a little self-evaluation of the tools you have in place. We're using SmartPath as an example. So if I have SmartPath, I want to enable soft pulls within soft. That's step one. Enable it. The next piece I want to do is I want to update my website, and I want to include a call to action that can feed the data in the SmartPath, get pre-qualified on my website, on my BDP pages, on my vehicle search result pages, banners, maybe a couple banners here and there throughout the site to get pre-qualified. Get pre-qualified is one of the number one call to actions you can put on your website to drive organic traffic. Right. And when you get an organic pre-qualification lead, right, you're walking in with so much power in your conversation because you know their score, you know the vehicles, the loans, the auto loans they have, how much they owe, what's their payment, when do they terminate. That will help your team adapt pre-qual and utilizing pre-qual. It will help them understand the importance of it, working those organic leads. And then you want to train your salespeople on making sure inside a SmartPath, whether the consumer does it on their own or you're instructing them where to go and where to do it, make sure it's a step in your process and you're training your sales team. Have the consumer get pre-qualified early on in the process so that we can make sure we have them aligned with the right vehicle and the right lender. And once you start adopting those processes, everything is going to run a lot smoother.
I love it. All right. Now, if I was going to ask you to now speak to my audience that are BDC reps, BDC managers, special finance BDC reps, and salespeople, the front lines, so to speak, the people that are going to be on the front lines with dealers for phone ups, for walk-in ups, for internet ups, for referrals, etc.
Yep.
Please give us some advice because listen, think about this. Let's just keep it real. Sometimes dealers get you guys and they don't freaking explain and reinforce best practices and things for the salespeople in the BDC on how to maximize this tool? Obviously, with the thousands of people that you have on your program, thousands of rooftops you have on your program, there you've got to know like the top 1 or 5% or 10% of your clients. How are they doing it? What are their best practices? So speak to the front lines to me, and right now on these airwaves, and let them know how can they leverage the power of soft credit pull technology to make their lives more easier, to sell more appointments, to sell more cars, to help their customers. Speak to the front lines.
So incorporates some type of soft pull into your BDC processes, whether like SmartPath. I can send a link to the consumer to get pre-qualified. Incorporate it into the BDC. It moves them much further down in the funnel, much closer to a sale and a higher sales rate. So if I can just think about the power of that, if I can empower my BDC to not only drive leads into my dealership, but drive pre-qualified leads that I'm getting their credit report and their FICO score when it comes into the dealership, your BDC is going to be more successful because they're sending you better qualified leads. They're already having payment conversations with the consumers. Enhance those conversations to get them pre-qualified. And if they're giving payment quotes in the BDC, you make sure you're giving them payment quotes that are based on a pre-qualification.
I love it. Question: do you have any, off the top of your head, do you have any dealers that are using 700 credit or the soft credit pull in a unique way, or like I don't know whether it's a specific landing page or it's through social media or it's through CRM? Like, because what you just said just triggered a thought. I mean, my gosh, if you think of the automation in a CRM, whether it's Vin Solutions or it's Dealer Socket or Promax, especially special finance company like Promax, okay, you might have an automated email template that goes out on day 1 or day 2 or day 3 that offers, hey, to get pre-qualified. I mean, things like that. Tell us some of the specific things that are unique or pretty freaking cool or successful that your good clients do.
Some of the unique things we're starting to see incorporation of QR codes. Inside dealerships on window stickers, QR codes to get pre-qualified. But having it part of the showroom floor, where a consumer can scan a QR code when they're sitting at a sales desk, and that pops up the form, and they can complete the form, and they're pre-qualified. So I think some of the unique ways are how they're pushing it in early into the funnel as they can. Kiosks. I've seen people have kiosks, and it's just to fill out a pre-qualification form. So I think the unique ways that dealers are incorporating it into their sales process at the top of the funnel.
And I love it. I have a couple last questions for you. I know that you're really busy. Talk to us about the artificial intelligence. So because AI is buzzing throughout the entire industry right now. Everything's AI, artificial intelligence, chat, GPT. How is 700 credit or soft credit pull technology being integrated or utilized or synergized with AI and artificial intelligence?
I think, we're evolving with the chats, AI chats. I mean, we've been partners with Goo, Carnow, all the chat tools.
Shout out to Carnow, Tim Cox and Bob Lanham. Those are good people over there.
Yes, they are. We've been partners with them for a long time. And so pre-qual has always been a part, but now AI can actually drive up the number of pre-quals that you're getting because AI responds to chats much more intelligently and channel the conversation much more intelligently than the old, if then else chatbots. So AI is enhancing conversations with, anytime a consumer starts asking about payment, finance, well, let's get you pre-qualified, and let's see what your score is, and then we can give you an accurate score, and having those score calculation engines inside of AI. So that's one area. The other area that we're starting to see is on the AI side is actually studying the AI tools, studying consumer behavior based on their credit history and their credit score, and incorporating more of the decisioning process inside that AI. So it's studying and coming up with recommendations based on what it knows about how consumers might behave. So
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, yeah. And I'm I told you I started as a programmer, computer science major, and some of the things that it's doing with computer programming now is fascinating as well.
Know if you saw, but I wrote an international best-selling book about Google called "Win the Game of Googleopoly" on search engine optimization, video search engine optimization, and yeah, I'm just blown away what you could do on SEO level, marketing level, and stuff.
Yeah.
With that said, my friend, I want to acknowledge we just been talking this entire time. 700 Credit is going to be a speaker, roundtable host, and obviously a platinum sponsor at the upcoming Internet Sales 20 Group Conference in a couple days. It's going to be April
Yes.
15th to the 17th in
Yep.
Baltimore at the Lord Baltimore Hotel. So can you tell us who from your team is going to be there?
Oh boy, you got me.
Bob Lettuce, right?
Bob is
Lettuce.
going to be there, I believe. James Lawyer is going to be there, and he's going to be speaking on fraud and some of the emergence of fraud that's on the rise in dealerships, and hopefully talking about a couple of our tools that we have to help fight it.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, it's an honor to have you on the show. You have obviously a plethora of information, just a wealth of knowledge. I support the product. I think that, every dealer should have 700 credit, and their soft credit pull technology in their dealership. How could people get a hold of you if they're interested in a demo, or if they want to just get signed up with 700 credit?
Well, look me up on LinkedIn. Feel free to message me directly, www.700credit.com. There's all sorts of ways to engage with someone. Yeah, feel free to reach out. Or if you're at the summit, stop by and talk to Bob and Jim.
Absolutely. Oh, I just thought of a question that's interesting. How many dealers do you work with, whether it's, directly or through your partners with OEMs and stuff? Just put this in perspective.
We have 22,000 dealerships as customers.
Okay. Wow. 22,000
Yeah.
dealerships as customers. How many soft credit pulls does your company do a year or total?
We're probably doing 5-6 million a year right now.
So, folks, for my audience, just listen to that. We've got the man that's, one of the main executives at a company that's got 22,000 car dealers, clients that are using his technology, and they're doing 5 to 6 million credit pulls a year. You know what that sounds
Soft
like?
pulls.
Soft pulls. That sounds like you have experience. When you can look at the data from 22,000 stores from 5 to 6 million credit pulls, that teaches you a lot. And you put
Yeah.
that in computers and you aggregate that data, you analyze that data,
Yeah.
you find algorithms within that data. See, I'm a knowledge guy. I'm an information. That's what I do for living. My job is to find people that have the information and give it to the people that need it. You know what I mean? And so thank you
Yeah.
so much for being part of this process.